Well, hey there, it's Catherine from Catherine Polar Designs. Welcome to our holiday card making series, episode number 6, Ink Blended Sky and Snowy Hill. We've had a great time with so many inspirational projects so far. We've used Copic markers, we've created easy watercolor backgrounds, we've used a mod color combo for Christmas, and today we're going to do ink blending, embossing, and we're going to use some new products from our Winter 2022 release. Woo! Cuteness is ahead. Speaking of cuteness, back in August, we did a fabulous class with our Stamp Nation members with our Blowing Leaves background stamp. Here's a look at the 2 cards we created together in our Zoom style class. And in that class, members asked for a winter version of this stamp. So we went to work, made this happen. This swirling snow background stamp will hit the shop in October. And in November, we will be running another class for our Stamp Nation members. Here is a peek at what I've been working on. In this class, we're going to create 2 cards with lots of great techniques, and we're going to have a ball. So we hope you'll join us. I'll link below so you can check it out. So now back to regular scheduled programming. First thing we're doing here is ink blending with Oh Boy and Something Borrowed ink pads. These are from our party line. They are highly saturated, very vibrant colors, and I'm using our large ink blending brush. We have 2 ink blending brushes in the shop. One is small. I like that a little bit more for stenciling when there's small detail. And then our large ink blending brush, I like when I'm using it to ink blend a background like this. The trick here to getting an even, nice ink blend is patience and a light hand and taking your time. I usually have a hard time with all of the above. I'm not patient, I have a heavy hand, and I like things to be done quickly. So I don't always have the smoothest blend, but our ink pads are really super juicy. They take a few seconds to dry, and so that makes them really beautiful for ink blending. So if you have the patience, you can get some really gorgeous results. So I started with Oh Boy, and I did a whole Oh Boy background, and then I'm going darker with the Something Borrowed, and then even darker with Suede shoes. I'm building that color up and taking a little time. So I was pretty happy with the smooth ink blend that I achieved on this ink blended background. But in the times that you aren't so happy with it, maybe it's a little more splotchy than you want, you can stamp on top of it, stencil on top of it, you can emboss, you can spritz some water. I was happy with my smooth ink blend, but I'm still going to do some techniques on top. So I decided I wanted to use some snowflakes on the background. So the Winter Mantle stamp set and the Snow-rific Party both have great snowflake stamps in various sizes. Both of these stamp sets include sentiments for your cards, main images, snowflakes, and other background elements. If you're looking to see these in the shop, I'm going to link everything below so you can click the links and head over to shop.catherinepolar.com and check these fun products out. So I used my Wow Embossing Ink to stamp the snowflakes, and they are really light and barely visible on the video, but they add a really nice subtle texture to the background. So you can use embossing ink for stamping without actually embossing. It basically kind of leaves a watermark, just darkens the paper a little bit. I want to add some more and do some building of the snowflakes and building of the background there. So I'm using Something Borrowed ink, and I'm stamping more snowflakes on the bottom. I love the little snowflakes in the Winter Mantle stamp set. I think they're perfection. So this background will be really cute as is, but if you want to add some more interest to it, grab your Gonzai Tombi Starry Colors paint. These are all shimmer paints from really super dark gold to lighter kind of rose gold color, and there's even a white in there. So I'm just going to add a little water to the pan of white. We'll let that activate the paint a little bit. And then I'm going to make sure I load up my brush really well, and then I'm just going to flick that brush onto my background. And now I have a starry night sky. I'm going to continue building a snowy scene here with my Melon Edge dies. These work great for creating a watermelon slice. You see the little seeds. They also work for weather-related things. Clouds and the little watermelon seeds can double as raindrops. And you can also use the wavy dies for a snowy hill. So super versatile little set of dies. If you don't have them, definitely think about adding them to your stash. I've used them a ton over the years. So I'm just going to take this die cut piece of white cardstock. I'm dabbing it onto my Wow embossing pad. And then I'm going to take my white puff embossing powder. I'm going to pour it on and then I'm going to heat it. So the white puff, I used it earlier in the video series. I think it was episode number 1. And I used the white puff and the white puff sparkle, white puff twinkle, something like that. White puff, I don't know, one of the two. But there's 2 different kinds. One is just white puff and one has glitter in it. You can't go wrong with either or both of those. But I'm just heating it here and it's going to turn to liquid and then it puffs up a little bit. So it's really, really cute for the Santa hat, for the fur, and it's really cute to make a snowy hill. So here's a close-up look of that snowy hill. Definitely need some cute little snowmen to add on here. So just add this to the card front and it's ready to go. So let's color up some snowmen. I'm using the color palette from the Snowy Day Birthday patterned paper. So really great prints here for holiday, for winter cards, for birthday. Look at those snowmen. What? Those are so cute. We have our famous plaid, a stripe, the polka dots. Which pattern is your favorite here? I think mine is the one with the snowflakes and the holly and the little red flowers. It's just such a gorgeous print. Then I'm coordinating Copic colors. So the colors of ink are Party Dress, Rockin' Red, In the Park, Tranquil, Something Borrowed, and Minted. And then I'm just pulling out of my stash the Copic markers that I have that coordinate the most closely with the color palette in this paper pack. So if you are wondering how to coordinate ink colors, our ink colors with Copic markers, I'm going to link a video below that explains the system. You can, use that as a reference for matching up or coordinating Copics with CP ink. So I'm just going to use my Memento ink pad and stamp the little snowman, stamp a bunch of the little boots, stamp the snowballs, the little sled. There's lots of little accoutrements and pieces. We love to fill our stamp sets with all kinds of useful images so that you can build a whole card with one set. So coordinating sentiments, coordinating background images, main image stamps, we got you covered. And then for coloring in the snowman, I like to use a really super light color. So the B00 is going to work really nicely. You can also use a gray marker. You can use a BV00 or 000. You could use pink, whatever the lightest in your stash is. And then I'm doing his little sweater and I'm getting a couple different shades of the same blue there. Again, I'll link everything below for you. And then I'm just going a little darker on the edges so then the snowman looks rounded. And then I'm going to color the rest of the images. Oh my goodness, they are so cute. So on this guy, I'm using a C3. And I want to know what you think. Do you like the snowman color, like the body? Do you like it colored in gray or do you like it blue? Or do you have other colors in your stash that you want to try? For this guy, I'm coloring his hat pink. So I'm grabbing my R27 and my R29 and I am using just such a little touch of it because I don't want it to get too dark. I don't want that hat to be red. I want it to be pink. So just little bits of touches of that red and then blend it in. And then you may have seen me do in other videos, if you get too much color and you want to remove some of it, just take your colorless blender and blend over the top of where you want the color to be lightened. The hat ended up being a little bit more red than I had envisioned, but it's still going to go great with that patterned paper because it has red and pink in it. And then I grabbed G12 and G14. They go great with In the Park. And I'm going to color in some of the details on the hat and the stripes on the scarf. So G12 over the whole thing, and then G14 with a little bit of shading. And I actually wanted a little bit more dimension in there, so I grabbed the G16. And for the polka dots, just a little touch of that tip to the paper to get a little darker dot on the polka dots. Gives it a little bit of dimension, and then just adding a little touch of it to the scarf stripes as well just adds dimension. Using the same greens that I used in the previous snowman, I'm going to color in this little puffy jacket. So going with the light base over the whole thing with the G12, and then coming in with the two darker colors, concentrating starting at the edges and kind of flicking the darker color into the center. That will give a little bit of roundness to the sky, and also just hitting the lines that the artist put in there. So that always helps me know where to shade. This little puffy jacket guy is so stinking cute, but you know, he's got a birthday hat on and we're not making a birthday card. So what are we going to do with that birthday hat? So in this video, I'm going to share 2 ways to change this snowman from a birthday snowman to a holiday snowman or a general occasion snowman. And the first way is by using the Santa hat from the old St. Nick stamp set. This will be so cute on this little snowman. Just going to color in the fur with a little bit of the lightest gray, well, the lightest in my stash anyway, C3, and use my colorless blender to pick up color so that I just get a really slight hint of color there. And then the R27 and R29 to color in the hat. I think I added a little bit of R89 in there as well to darken up and give dimension to this image. So now that I have a bunch of the snowmen die cut and all the little accoutrements, the sled, the snowballs, the boots, let's take a look again at this little collection. So we have the Snowy Day birthday patterned paper, the Snow Many Flakes dies, the Frosted Window die, and the Snow-rific party stamp set and dies. All of these products were released in a bundle together, so you can purchase them at a discount or pick and choose your favorites. In this video, we're just going to use a few of these pieces and pull in some other pieces from the stash, and we're going to create 2 cards. I thought the Skyscape mini cover plate would be adorable on this card, but if I use the large wonky scallop and the smallest layer, I felt like it was covering up too much of that gorgeous patterned paper. So I die cut the larger layer from the set of dies out of the scallopy wonky piece, and then that gave a little bit more of a peek of that beautiful pattern, and that worked great. And then I'm just kind of playing around here a little bit with the placement of my snowman and where I want to add the sentiment. So I've been using the holiday one-liner stamp set a ton with the sentiment banner dies and the love note banner die or the love note dies, and I thought that would be a really cute addition here. So using the Santa hat from the old St. Nick stamp set was a perfect way to change this snowman into a Christmas snowman. So if you want to put this top hat on one of the other snowmen, you can simply trim it off and then add it to one of the other snowmen's heads. So this guy, his birthday hat is a little too tall. It's going to stick out over the top hat, so I just trimmed that down, topped the top hat right on there, and now we have a different looking snowman. So for this card, I ended up going back to the Santa hat, but that is another great way to alter these snowmen. And now it's just time to assemble all of the pieces and figure out where everything fits in. So I'm adding this cutie little guy to the sled and then a little bit of foam tape on the back so he will pop up and have dimension on the card. And then the Santa hat, I wanted the Santa hat to pop off and have dimension over the top of that little guy, and so just a little strip there, and then I'm going to add some more to the back and a whole nother piece of foam tape on the entire back of that snowman so that both of the snowmen will have dimension off of the card layer. The "'Tis the Season to Be Freezin" from the Holiday One-Liners is the perfect sentiment for this stamp set. And I'm going to add a little foam tape on there so that it lays even and flat on the card, because the card or the layer there is on foam tape and then the base of the card isn't. So you got to have that lay flat and then add on the little snowmen. And this card is adorable. I love the color combo. I love this sweet little holly, the very subtle kind of soft snowflakes in the background on that paper. And then these fun, whimsical snowmen, the little puffy jacket. That is so stinking cute. And that oversized Santa hat. I mean, what? I felt like it needed a few little snowflakes on there too. So this is our new set of snowflakes. Snow Mini Flakes dies with 5 different snowflake shapes. They also coordinate with our Winter Frames dies, which has 2 snowflakes in the same art style and sizing to coordinate with these 5 flakes in the Snow Mini Flakes set of dies. And they work perfectly for adding onto a project like this. Just tuck them under the layers or your little main image. And then you can add a few sequins in the center of the snowflakes. I'm using Wintergreen Sequin Mix, which coordinates with this paper pack. And all done. This card is so sweet, so cute. I hope you guys enjoyed. But we still have to finish up this Snowy Hill card. Here it is. So, I thought these guys with their hands up in the air were perfect for this Snowy Hill. So each one of them I embellished a little bit differently. This guy added on the boots, so I just glued them on the back and I added a little bit of foam tape, and then I don't know if you can see, but I have kind of just a little thin strip of cardstock there that I kind of used as a brace. And then add him onto a wobbler, because that's fun. Add one of the snowmen onto a sled, because that's adorable. You have a snowy hill, so you need a sled. And then one of those guys needs to be juggling some snowballs. Now, the Merriest sentiment stamp set that came out with our holiday collection has a stamp that says, "Oh, what fun." And I think that stamp has to go on a card like this. However, I was not pre-planning as I do, and I didn't have room for the "Oh, what fun." So now I'm just kind of working with those holiday one-liners to figure out which one I want to put on there. You're on my nice list I thought was really cute. It's Christmas time is really cute. So many of those sentiments are going to work. Oh, here's the "Oh, what fun." Yeah. Seriously, that's like a match made in heaven, but it just was too big. I didn't leave room. So the holiday one-liners is it. "'Tis the Season to Be Freezin" on the banner die. Oh, what fun. Let's pop that inside. Add a couple snowflakes. And then now as I'm watching this, you know what would be really cute? Take the boots and stamp those there too, and then color them in. So 2 cards, one with some patterned paper and some layered shape dies, and then the Snowy Hill with the ink blended background night sky. 2 great ways to use this stamp set in these cute little snowmen. And that is it for episode number 6. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up, leave a comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. We so appreciate you being here with us. You guys mean the world to us. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And we will see you again on the next video.